technology journalist, Mary Ann Russon. She also joins us live from London. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, this decision is just coming at very serious cost, very serious disruption and inconvenience. Do you think it's worth it for the UK to do this, and who can fill the void?
I suppose personally, I wouldn't have thought it was worth the UK to spend billions more money when our economy is falling apart and we've got Brexit costs to come, but that's my personal opinion. I mean, in terms of who can fill the void, there are lots of other companies. Nokia and Ericsson have been saying lots of things very, very happily over the last month about how happy they would be to supply mobile networks for the UK and around the world. They are also two massive players who've been around for quite a long time as well, possibly longer than Huawei. So yes, obviously they'd like to get in there as well. They already have many of these contracts to do 5G networks, but of course they'd like to provide even more equipment. And obviously, you've also got Cisco, the US player, which is kind of falling behind the others in terms of popularity.
Okay, but I mean, help us understand how serious the alleged security threat is from China. China says there is no security threat. This is, of course, all political. But if it, for example, were to build that 35% of the UK's 5G infrastructure, what could it potentially have access to through that stake in the 5G build?
The thing is, it doesn't really, I have said this before on TRT, but the networks don't quite work that way. Different components of a network, they don't actually join. It's not like a straight line whereby you connect and therefore you can connect with all the different equipment. I mean, just look at how hard it is to, when you were porting your BlackBerry to your iPhone or your BlackBerry to your Samsung, it was a huge challenge, wasn't it, to move from one phone to the other. It's very different. Interoperability between different types of technology, different types of hardware is not that great. It's not that easy to build a back door in your equipment and go, okay, this is great. What are you going to do as soon as you hit the next bit of the network, which is built by Ericsson or Nokia or some other thing? It just doesn't work that way. There is no continuous thing that allows you to just hack across a whole 5G network. So that in just a technical sense, the UK has still not been able to prove without a doubt that is definitely the case. A lot of this is political pressure. You'd have to just understand the way networks are built to understand that they just don't work that way.
That's very interesting. Tell us then, I mean, how good is China's technology? We know it's very, very price competitive, but technologically, is it better to be using Ericsson or Nokia, or are they all pretty much on equal footing there, just China has the price advantage?
I'd say they all have really good innovations, just different innovations. From my years of covering, telecoms and particularly mobile telecoms, what I'd say is that they've all produced interesting solutions to problems. When you're trying to connect a huge amount of people on this network, and 5G networks is supposed to be super fast, much faster than 4G, huge amount of bandwidth, and it's supposed to allow you to do all these crazy new applications, right? So you've got to have a really, really powerful network. That means all your hardware has to be perfect. You have to have an innovative problem. What is IT and software engineering about? It's about problem solving lots of problems why your software can't work with his software, why all the hardware doesn't work. So they're all creating different solutions to different problems. So you kind of need everybody to play. It's like an ecosystem. That's why the British mobile operators are not happy to hear that Huawei is being taken out, because they kind of need all these guys working together to make that network possible. So yes, they are all innovative, but obviously being able to mass produce at a cheaper cost, Huawei does have some advantages.
Okay, Marianne Russon joining us there. Thank you so much for your insight. We really appreciate it.